Welcome to the world of anime recaps, and today we will go over the show called Charlotte. The show is set in a time when superpowers started to awaken in normal children. Our protagonist, Otosaka Yuu, would have been just another high school student if it wasn't for his superpower. Yuu has the ability to take over someone's body for 5 seconds. Even though the duration is small, Yuu uses his intelligence to maximize the capability of this power, allowing him to cheat in his exams along with other dishonest activities. He manages to reach the top of a prestigious high school and even sets up a false scenario to make one of the high school's most beautiful girls, Shirayanagi Yumi, fall for him and go on a date with him. Everything seems to be going Yu's way until he's attacked by and stopped by Tomorrow Now and Jujiro from Hoshinumi Academy. Tomori captures Yu and reveals that she's been keeping an eye on him and his dishonest acts. She asks Yu to join Hishinumi Academy, a school that takes care of children with superpowers. Yu agrees and is transferred to the academy along with his sister Ayumi, who he cherishes a lot. The siblings get transferred and Yu joins the student council to save more children with superpowers after Tomori's request. A mysterious guy with detection abilities reveals their first case involving indecent photography. The crew visits the suspected school and starts to look around until they find a suspect. They capture the guy after Yu takes over his body to stop him. Tomori questions him and he reveals that he was getting those pictures from someone else named Udo. They confront Udo, and after he threatens Tomori and Yu takes over his body. Udo agrees to not using his ability ever again. It is revealed by Tomori later that children lose their powers once they turn adult. A little backstory shows young Tomori with her brother Kazuki, who was experimented on till he was incapable of doing anything by the scientists after he awakened. Tomori takes Yu to visit her brother, and the two talk about things for a bit. The strange guy arrives again with the student council's next case, this time involving spiritual takeovers and pyrokinesis. The suspected student was a girl named Yusa, an idol. The group reaches Yusa somehow through some of her friends, and as they meet her, they find out about the whole situation. Apparently, Yusa was able to channel her dead sister Misa's spirit in her body without being aware of it. Misa's personality is different from Yusa, and she can use pyrokinesis. Tomori offers Misa to join Hoshinumi Academy for their safety, and Misa agrees on the condition of the student council helping her to deal with a producer who was threatening Yusa. They devise a plan to work things out and use Yusa's friends to scare the producer by letting his guards on fire. The producer runs away while promising not to bother Yusa again, and according to the deal, Yusa enrolls in the academy the next day, immediately gaining popularity. Yusa joins the student council as well in order to help out with the cases. The third case arrives, and this time, the guy is a baseball team player named Arifumi with telekinesis. It is clear that he uses his powers to deceive the batter while pitching. The student council reaches him out, and after Tomori tells him not to depend too much on his powers, as they won't be usable once he turns adult. Tomori and Arifumi decide to play a baseball match in order to decide whether Arifumi will use his powers anymore or not. The team starts the game as both teams continue to use their powers. The student council ends up winning after Yu decides not to use his powers for once. They go on a mountain trip to find a guy who has flying abilities and successfully neutralize his ability as well. During the trip, Yu and Tomori spent some time together as Tomori opens up about herself and her brother to Yu, introducing her to music by Shane Sarah, leaving Yu shocked. The next case is about collapse ability that hasn't sprouted yet. After Tomori deduces that this person has to be a child, Yu figures out that his sister Ayumi is sick recently. The group checks up on her, but she seems fine. Sometime later, Ayumi attends school but gets threatened by a girl who's jealous of her with a blade. Ayumi panics after getting cornered and ends up awakening her ability, collapsing the school building. Yu arrived with the student council, but it was already too late. The passing of Ayumi left Yu in depression as he decided to cut himself off and even turned Yumi down after she visited to console him. Yu gets out of the dormitory and starts doing wrong things and living an unhealthy life. Yu fights some guys off and finds drugs that were dropped by them. As Yu is about to fall into the hell of drugs, Tomori appears and stops him. She takes him away and makes him food, leaving him crying. Yu thanks Tomori and joins the academy again. It is revealed that Tomori was looking after Yu throughout his rebel phase. Hugh ends up meeting a disabled woman sometime later who seemed familiar to him. He takes her to a restaurant and learns that she is Shane Sarah, the same singer Tamori and Kazuki are fans of. He takes Sarah to Kazuki while requesting her to sing for Kazuki to jog his memory. The singing works, and Kazuki says Tamori's name, to which Tamori thanks Hugh later. The two go on a date to Sarah's concert the next day, as Tamori wishes to thank Hugh, but while standing around, Hugh remembers a flashback. He remembers himself and his sister being lab subjects trapped in a facility where his brother Shinsuke was trapped too. They had planned an escape with some friends, but things went wrong, and Shinsuke used his time travel ability to turn back time. Hugh passes out and wakes up in a hospital. He tells Tamori about his brother and gets visited by Kumagami, who's the same person helping them find cases. Kumagami takes the two to Shinsuke, and a little backstory shows Shinsuke's efforts to change the future as he kept reversing time using his eyes until he went blind, getting unable to use them. The brothers meet and Shinsuke reveals Yu's real ability to be able to take anyone's ability whose body he takes over on. Yu finds out about his abilities, and upon Shinsuke's request, she takes Shinsuke's time travel ability. They devise a plan to go back in time and save Ayumi by taking her collapse ability. The plan ends up as a success with the help of Shinsuke's friends. The siblings reunite after a while at the facility. While things seem normal again, Hugh finds out that Tamori and Kumagami are kidnapped, and Shinsuke tells Hugh to save them, to which he reluctantly agrees. He reaches the destined factory and fights with the men who have kidnapped the two. Hugh was somehow holding his own just fine when he gets jumped by a ninja girl who destroys his right eye, leaving him unable to roll back time. Hugh uses the collapse ability in panic and destroys the whole factory. Kumagami dies while saving Tamori. Hugh panics upon waking up in a hospital and is calmed down with a sedative. Hugh decides to take responsibility for everything and plans to set off on a journey to take back every single ability for every single ability user throughout the world. He tells Tamori to wait for him as he expresses his feeling and starts the journey by taking the abilities of his own friends. He gives hope to Shinsuke as he sets off on his journey throughout the world. He visits every single country and plagiarizes all superpowers while getting more and more stronger. He keeps Shinsuke updated throughout this journey. All this gathering of abilities takes a toll on his mental health, but he ends up taking all the abilities with ease until only one user is left. The last ability user ends up being a little girl who tries to protect Hugh in an alleyway. Hugh takes her ability and passes out due to exhaustion from constant work all this time. Luckily for him, Shinsuke arrives in a helicopter and ends up saving him. Hugh wakes up in a hospital to Tamori as she tells him that she's his girlfriend. Hugh lost his memories but is able to spend the rest of his life with his friends in peace in a world free of superpowers. Thanks for watching the video. Drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more anime content like this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.